All right, so the story yesterday, you remember the story. So this is the story. Sorry, picture of him again. He has 5 years Vogel. I remember years ago, interestingly enough, he was the keynote speaker at the Keynote Shluchim. This was years and years ago when they imagined the banquet was in Oli Torah. Before it became the whole international production. It was just mainly for Shluchim. We didn't bring in those days any guests. He was the keynote speaker. And I remember that his Nekuda was really brilliantly articulated in Yonah Shel Teres Chassidus, Yechida, and that's the Nekuda of the Shliach. He's the Yechida, and therefore what's Yechida? Yechida is the Nekuda Atzmis, and therefore what's the job of the Shliach? Whatever is required of him, and whenever and whomever. Same what you were talking about here. Here's a picture. If you know the players, it's an interesting picture to see. I'll just point out, Avraham Shem Tov is on the extreme left or right, and how it looks for you in the picture there. These are historic pictures. So the story is that he's 15 years old. He's learning in Manchester, and Rabbi Dubov, Yitzchak Dubov, the Rav there of the Shul Adas Yisrael. I grew up in Melbourne, this shul called Adas Yisrael. So he was on the Anhala and he gave a Tanya shir and he used to attend. And his friends, Avraham Shem Tov and Berl Futterfass and Shalom Berg Yaakov, so they encouraged him to write to the Rebbe, and he wrote to the Rebbe. He says, what's the point of me attending the Tanya shir? He speaks in Yonim of Shotim, these transcendent things, divorced from his reality. He's not gaining anything. He got an answer very quickly. I don't, you see, he doesn't give the letter here, so I don't know if it's an interview, so I don't know how accurate and precise this is. I'd love to see the original letter. I'm sure it's in the Igros, we could look it up. I didn't. But the Rebbe says to him that why you don't understand, this is the Atzasa Yetzer. And then the Rebbe went on to quote 3 places from Tanya. Whatever says to him, and this doesn't speak to you, you don't find this talks to you, I have to see the original Lashon. What's the first thing? The first thing that quotes in the Perek Vav in Tanya, where he says that he who sits and learns Torah, the Shekhinah rests upon him. But if he is not a bottle, but an entity unto himself, then he gets not the Shekhinah, he gets his highest then from Acharayim. That's number one. It doesn't, in other words, being surrendered and acknowledging an Eibishter doesn't talk to you. I have to see the letter, but this is very small quotations. And next quote, Perikei in Tanya. There he explains the mile of Limud HaTorah, that through Limud HaTorah, a person unites with the Eibishter in the most wondrous way, where Hashem's wisdom is both in him and embraces him simultaneously. So this doesn't talk to you, inspire you, as if to say, when you're learning Torah, how you're uniting so intimately with Hashem. 15-year-old kid that was quoting these sources. And finally, and in this order, Perek Vov, Hey, and now Perek Gimel. Then the Rebbe says, he's telling him, look in all these places, Perek Gimel. There he explains that when a person is misbein in Hashem's greatness, he's Mamala Kalalmin, Tzebev Kalalmin, and Kula can make a lochashiv. So right away, this engenders the awe of Hashem, Yiras HaReimemes, contemplating God's greatness this way. There's not. So this is the answer that he got then as a 15-year-old bocher. Okay, maybe we're going to tell you his further adventures. He leaves Manchester and he goes to the famous yeshiva in Gateshead. And he had some interesting adventures in Gateshead, some almost humorous, and we'll share that, God willing, tomorrow, and again, some of the answers and direction he got over the years. A wonderful day, everybody. We'll see you, God willing, all on Zoom, Beis Hashem, tomorrow.